Hello. It's a bit of a different video. This is. I'm working. Let me just bring you a bit closer. Just bring you a bit closer and see. So I said in the introduction that I'm on a journey, and that if you watch these videos and you have an interest, then you're watching my journey, aren't you? I was thinking about that the other day. Consequences, impact, of the things that I have said in my videos so far. I'm quite content, really. I was thinking then at the same time, about the impact and the consequences, to myself and to anybody that's watching. And I've been suffering for some time. For between 9 and 10 months. Different this time to the other times in my life when I've suffered. I've watched it this time. I've been able to observe every aspect really of my experiences in the last certainly 9 months at the moment, going on for 10 months. So and before in my life, I never saw it. The fearful and chaotic workings going on inside me. All I ever saw, and all I ever thought about that behaviour was, sorry, I'm losing myself a little bit, but essentially, in recent years I'm able to see things clearly. There's a great deal of clarity in my life, and previously to my this transforming period, before that period, I was ignorant in the fullest of senses. So being wrapped up in the behaviours that I had, I was unable to function as a participating human being in a community. I didn't know how. More than didn't know how was I didn't know what was going on with me. In today's world, we live in a very physical world. We're always looking for the answers in the physical sense and looking for a reason. And sometimes, those reasons that are being given are not really reasons. They're just, depression. Oh, he's depressed. Okay. But what's the answer to that depression? Well, our community, they say, well, go and get some pills, go and get some counselling, go out and meet people, and do things that are fruitful. Half of that stuff that um, half of the stuff that's talked about in society as a remedy, um, is half of it's mixed in with truthful and honest endeavours that will actually help you. But the thing of it is overwhelmingly people get burnt by bad practices in their life, bad advice, bad guidance, and they never want to revisit the experience again, so they don't. Yeah, totally lost myself. I've been very reason I'm making this video tonight, it's 1:45 in the morning now, is because since yesterday I've been feeling very scatty. Yesterday I noticed stuff coming out of my mouth which wasn't authorised, and then either halfway through what I was saying I recognised what was actually coming out, or it'd be a few minutes later I'll think to myself, what on earth did you say that nonsense for? And then I've had to go back to the person and not apologise, but just let them know what's going on. It's so scatty. I feel like I'm going mad, literally going mad. I've even noticed today that I have odd moments of talking to myself. I do talk to myself, but I recognise that I'm talking to myself, and it's with reason. But today I've noticed mumblings. I did used to mumble. I even earned the nickname of Mumbles for a little while, 20 or 30 years ago. Anyway, so that's why I'm making the video. I want to put a different t-shirt on as well because I've been sweating. Let me just do that first. So, I'm in a strange sort of position at the moment. I call it an interlude, right? But it's an interlude, a lull, a breathing space, a break in proceedings. I'm at that place now. If you've watched any videos before, right, you'll know that I consider myself been under states public funded state terrorism, right? And I've had my children programmed, not only programmed to think that they can't stand me or don't like me or I don't really know, because I've been kept in the dark and isolated away from my children. Not only that, but they've used and programmed my children, conditioned my children into believing that going into the care system is a worthwhile thing to do. That it's the best option. That I even now, even though it's been sort of well, they've been in that care system, right? Get this, right? Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve? Yes, Christmas Eve, the 24th. And it was by video link, right? There's so much inappropriate, but I'm not going to. But anyway, so in the broadest sense, so I've had what I consider my children kidnapped, right? That's been going on for 9 months. All of this lead up to this, and like I say, I've made videos and I've intimated as to what I've been experiencing, what I've been seeing. You know, it's been so easy to predict. That clarity again. I foresaw where we are today with my children, where I am today, where my children are today. I foresaw that with after a week of interactions with the social services. After 1 week, you know, I started telling them then, if you don't change um, what's going on here, nothing is going to change. You know, it will remain. It's not possible to expect something if it's not. Anyway, all deaf ears and not a caring bone in their body. I don't mean the individuals. I mean as the body of a council. So we'll talk about Oxford Council and their social services department. But state-sponsored terrorism for 9 months. I've had my children abducted. They're down in London. Um, um, Also on top of that, because I thought to myself, I need to go and get insurance and that. So, I mean, I'm quite pathetic at earning money and all the rest of it at the best of times. But I thought I'll get insurance against my life. Um, that'll help in some way. But anyway, I had to go to the doctors. So now I'm been labelled with osteoarthritis. Right, I've been for X-rays and all that sort of stuff. I've got holes, like potholes, and up and down my spine from the bottom to the top. I've got bone growths up and down my spine. You know, I have, this is a bone growth from osteoarthritis, but I've had that for 20 odd years. So it's been developing, I've been told, for that for some time. So probably from an old injury. I've got a trapped nerve in my skull at the top of my spine. So my hands, foot, all these two fingers, they don't really perform very well. I think I'm getting used to it. Is that the right word? I learning to adapt, I suppose, is the thing to say. But yeah, so there's all of those types of things, depression and all the rest of it. So I signed on to the dole again. I think it was about March or no. I think it was about May. It would have been. You know, I was self-employed up until then, but newly self-employed. I'd only been I'd been on the dole before, but I'd been off the dole for a year or so, and but I just couldn't function, so I needed to go onto that, and now they've put me onto the sickness benefit. I don't get anything extra as far as coin goes, money, but I'm not pressed to go and look for work. You know, it's at my leisure. So this job here has been a long-term job, really. I can come and go as I want because I do suffer. Like tomorrow morning, you know, when I get home, I need at least 1 day off, 2 days to recover because my joints and my back it just incapacitates me, and the painkillers are no good. And I'm careful about the painkillers because of my problems that I've had with other substances, controlled substances. You know, I illegally controlled substances and all that. So I'm cautious. I prefer to suffer it, to be honest. And I try to say that it's a reminder that I'm alive. You know. Yeah, so there is that and that. So to you about New Year and all the rest of it in that instruction, and the things that I'm going to do in the future, what I'm going to talk about and do. And really, I'm going to make these videos like this, and I'm going to mix it up, right? I'm going to talk about my physical aspects of life, right, and the things that I do, and how I do it, right? Not so much the physical side as well. I will touch on that, but more on manifesting really into the physical, you know. Part of the reason that my life has been so chaotic for so many years, like I said, was ignorance, right? And but it's forgivable when you're a child, really, and it's forgivable as an adult in today's society, right? For the average person, and what I mean by that is the average person that is educated in like a state-sponsored school, you know, or its equivalent, because they teach you to be ignorant, right? The education system was only brought about initially because they needed to put the kids somewhere while the parents were down their mines and at work and in the factories and all the rest of it in the industrial age. That's when and how schools came about. But they really realised quite quickly that children do have a productive number. You know, they have a financial outcome if you take the outcome as the extent of their life. So they started a school and they started to teach them, you know, the things that they're going to need to get a job. You know, all the basics. However, it leaves a really big hole in a person's life because they've got no measure of what's going on within themselves and actually what life is. You know, life isn't really about being a productive number and, you know, getting on with the cause. It's a good cause, you know, the production line of work and the way that we're going about it in that respect. But yeah, the ignorance. So how long have I been going? 18 minutes. Oh, so so that's really what I'm going to be doing, is bringing that education, really. I'm not as ignorant anymore about certain aspects of life. I mean, work really for me the last couple of years has been more of a vocation, really. You know, I don't do things that I don't want to do anymore. And you can put me to death in disobedience of that, if you like. I just don't, and I don't work for people that it's not that I don't like, because I like life, so I like everybody. It's behaviours that I can't bear. You know, certain toxic, corrosive behaviours that infect, that can possibly infect you, you know, and you know, I find myself quite vulnerable sometimes. So I've been quite proactive in all of that. I'm going to give it a break now. We're at 20 minutes nearly, and because I am going to look over this, because this is a different type of video for me, and either I'll publish it or I won't, and I'll make a new one. But yeah, you have a good day today. I hope to make another one if I feel okay about it. very, very soon, within hours. Okay, thank you, bye-bye.